Hi students. So let's start today with immunoprophylaxis. We had told about the different vaccines that we have, what are the modes of their action, and we had told about the killed vaccine as well as a live attenuated vaccine. And now we are going to continue with the types of the vaccines. The next one, the toxoid vaccines. In a toxoid vaccine, what happens? You use a toxin or a harmful product which has been made by the microbe which causes the disease. And that toxin is, what does it mean? It has been inactivated or intoxicated with the help of certain agents, and that has been used to induce immunity within you. And this will create immunity to the parts of the germ that cause the disease instead of the germ itself. Okay, so the immune response that you have here is targeted to the toxin instead of the whole germ. And you might notice that sometimes you might also need a booster dose to get an ongoing protection against the disease. Now, scientists they have found that they can inactivate the toxins by treating them with formalins. For example, one intoxicated vaccine that we have is a DPT vaccine that we get against diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. In all these cases, what happens? These are, of course, what bacterial diseases, and against them, what happens? Their toxins are being taken and they are being intoxicated. Another case of vaccine which is being used in veterinary cases, for example, to vaccinate dogs, we have a Crotalus atrox toxoid, which is being used against the rattlesnake bites. Now, this is a picture depicting how a toxoid is being intoxicated. So, basically, you take a now you have in this picture you have a tetanus bacteria which is emitting the toxin. The green color is the cell's border, and within that is the what toxoid. The pink blue color is the toxin. So, this bacteria is mainly producing the toxin, and that toxin is being liberated outside. And this is a tetanus toxin. This tetanus toxin has been further modified. Okay, modifications are in detail, but we just go through a surface of this what is it. Okay, so they are being modified, and they this modified tetanus toxoid is mainly used as a vaccine. And this toxoid vaccines they do not cause the disease, they prevent, but they prevent the disease. Okay, and they also cause local or systematic reaction, and are very rare as well in this where you get local as the systemic reactions. Okay, they do not cause the disease. Okay, but they will prevent the disease occasion, but also sometimes local or systematic reactions which could be located with vaccines. This is very rare in the case of the toxoid vaccines. Now, however, due to the toxoid is not having that high immunogenicity, what happens? It sometimes has to be added with certain adsorbents such as aluminum or calcium salts, which will serve as adjuvants in order to increase the immune response and make it long lasting. So to increase the immune response, so toxoid is not that much efficient because high immunogenicity is not there. So what happens? You have to take the toxoid and you have to mix it with some adjuvants. Adjuvant is a substance which will increase the immunogenicity of a vaccine. Okay, now here calcium or aluminum salts are being used as adjuvants along with the toxoids, and thus the immune response is being increased and also the immune response is made long lasting. Now, another term that we have to come across here is the monovalent and the polyvalent vaccines. These are all different types of vaccines. I'm just explaining it to you. Now, a monovalent vaccine contains a single strain of single antigen. Okay, so in the case of measles vaccine, what you are doing, you're taking the vaccine has been prepared using a single strain uh, and a single antigen. That is a measles vaccine. But in the case of polio vaccine or the oral polio vaccine, what does it mean? You are taking different strains of polio virus and then you are using the what? Vaccine. So a vaccine which has been prepared using different strains of a virus is referred to as a polyvalent vaccine. And basically saying when it is polyvalent itself, it will be a polyvalent antigen also because different antigens will also be present here. Okay, but in the case of monovalent vaccine, you consider a single strain which carries a single antigen. Okay. Now come to the next step of vaccines. You don't misunderstand that monovalent and polyvalent vaccine against combination vaccine. That is not the thing. I just kept it separate so that you can understand. In the combination vaccine, some of the antigens can be combined in a single injection that can prevent different diseases or that protect against multiple strains of infectious agents causing the same disease. Now, for example, we have DPT vaccine. We are combating against three different diseases: diphtheria, pertussis, and tetanus. And the vaccine has been prepared against three different antigens causing three different diseases. So, such as a combination vaccine. So instead of taking multiple injection against three diseases, we will take one single injection, and so with one injection itself, you are giving protection against the three diseases. That is referred to as a combination vaccine, and this can be useful to overcome the logistic constraints of multiple injections and to accommodate for a children's fear of needles and pain. I hope it is clear to you. Now, another thing before saying my thank you, I need to say you also have another categorization called the bacterial vaccines and the viral vaccines. The bacterial vaccines are those vaccines which have been prepared against bacteria, and you know all these different types of vaccines that we have. Okay, they can be some of them come like you have live attenuated, you have killed vaccines, you have subunit vaccines, you have the other one. What is the last one? The toxoid vaccines. So among all these categories, the vaccines which have been produced against bacteria can be consolidated under the bacterial vaccines, and all the vaccines which have been produced against the viruses are referred to as a what? The viral vaccines. Then of course there are more advanced stages of vaccines which we had already mentioned in an overview in the different types of vaccines. And with this I come to an end. Thank you.